Stu, I think you just used that magic word cloud. I mean, is there a relationship here between software-defined data center and cloud? I mean, I assume these two ideas are completely very married to one another.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, I think we kept hearing everybody talk about it's the agility we're trying to give to business. Thing I want to point out, if you talk about kind of the easy case that we had for server virtualization, we had at the beginning, it was really easy for us to save money because there was a huge consolidation that was done. One of the challenges, if you look at both the network and at storage, even if we add a layer of virtualization, there's probably not going to be a collapse of how many ports we're going to do or how much capacity we need. So we heard the discussion here that a lot of this is a move to more of commodity type equipment. And with that, we need to make sure that there is really software and management involved so that this can be automated, because we know if we look at costs in the data center, the capital expense is only a small piece. Usually, somewhere around 20% of all costs in the data center are the capital expense. It's that operational expense, and we need to have things simplified. Because if we have to keep optimizing and tweaking my environment, we're never going to be able to keep up with the changes that business needs. So these kind of all go hand in hand, and many of these are what we've talked about in cloud. I want to have flexible environments that I can grow and are just going to work, and I'm not going to have my administrators constantly doing what we would consider undifferentiated heavy lifting, constantly adding and configuring and changing things. It should just be able to grow with the business as we need.
Mark, what's your sense with the cloud and software-defined data center? I mean, to what extent do these two concepts work together? I mean, are they the same, or what's the difference here?
I mean, cloud is the ultimate software-defined, right? Where I go in and I'm ultimately consuming a service. What that infrastructure looks like below doesn't matter to me, right? I want to have a service that has this type of performance, this type of security, this type of availability, and that infrastructure responds accordingly, and because it's software driven. So Google was mentioned, Amazon's another one that's always mentioned that drives that. And Stu brought up a great point about management. Instead of IT using individual element managers, so going into networking, storage, server, different management tools, being able to use or aggregate that management platform. So then when I create a policy based on performance, security, availability, any of those things, that drives the infrastructure to respond. So it provisions the right networking services, provisions the right server, CPU, and memory usage services, and provisions the right capacity. So that's what cloud is doing today, and what ultimately people are looking to do on-premise, get that same type of reliability or availability that they can consume from the cloud today on-premise.